It's another beautiful Monday morning, and you're welcome aboard Breakfast Fiesta on Oluyole 98.5 FM Ibadan. This beautiful day, Monday, the 20th of October, year 2025. My name is Jamila Ilegbede. Always a pleasure to be here, and you're welcome. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and yes, ready to embrace all those beautiful opportunities that will be coming your way today. Remember, your attitude will go a long way in what you attract. So, just don't forget to wear your smile, and with a positive vibe for a Monday morning, you're going to get nothing but the best. So this is wishing you a wonderful week ahead. So I bid you welcome on behalf of the rest of the crew, comprising the producer Oladimeji Salaudin. I have Toby Abiodu and Kennedy Salmon on the console, and of course the engineering officer on duty, Shuaib Bosari. Of course, we still have Timmy and Enilua. My interns here in the studio. It promises to be another wonderful time as usual on Breakfast Fiesta. And yes, let me quickly add this. Timmy, happy birthday to you. Alright, we have some observances as usual for this Monday, the 20th, and the first is the International Chef Day. So this day is set aside to encourage us to eat right, the importance of eating healthy, and also designed so that we can learn about the importance of the role of chef in our society. I'm not mentioning a particular chef but there's one chef, a lady that has been doing tremendous, wonderful things in Nigeria, putting us on the world map in the most positive way. So a day like this is dedicated to people like her. Hilda? Yeah. We also have the World Osteoporosis Day, which is dedicated to raising awareness about bone health issues that can impact almost anybody in the world. Osteoporosis is the disease of the bones that develops when a person's bone mass and mineral density decrease, or when there are changes in the strength or structure of the bones. So today is set aside to create awareness about that. We also have the World Menopause Awareness Day. Also dedicated to raise awareness about menopause and the support available for improving women's health. Team Women. World Statistics Day, celebrated to acknowledge the importance of statistics in everyday life. And talking about statistics, yes, how apt. Today we are going to be presenting you with a lot of statistics about Nigeria, our poverty rate, how have we fared as a nation, and what needs to be done to bring about improvement in the percentage of people below the poverty line in Nigeria. All of this we will be looking at today with my guests, as they will be joining me right after this music break. So do stay with us on Oluyole 98.5 FM on Breakfast Fiesta, as we will be looking at the poverty rate in Nigeria and maybe charting a way forward to nip it in the bud.
It's killing me. Hold up, it's killing me. Pour me only water, make I find my square root. New shit. Kusina kusumi economy, it is for me. On fait so me. Kuse kusu economy, it is for me. On fait so me. Tu vois emi obi check economy kill me. Economy no go give me a attack. Economy no go give me a blood pressure. Nothing they work for Nigeria anymore. Latino they afford they watch football. I swear no checking jack for more. Dominic walking by yo. I'm so bad out of my mind, I'm losing it. Like softly cocos, I'm losing it. Bottom is killing me. Killing me. Yeah. Bottom is killing me. Killing me. Bottom is killing me. For me only what I make I find my square root. Kusina kusumi economy, it is for me. Kuse kusu economy, it is for me. You boy me o check economy give me. Economy no go give me a attack. Economy no go give me a blood pressure. Economy back tomato na goat, my people they worry yo. Ain't to tire, mala enemy. Abawajo, the petrol fi gbe lórí. Gbogbo díẹ̀ many people today ejo akeku. Ile promise and fail, all these na charade. Promise and fail, so charade. If I see your life, political masquerade. If I see your life, political masquerade. Hold up, it's killing. It's killing me. Hold up, it's killing me. It's killing me. For me only what I make I find my square root. Kusina kusumi economy, it is for me. Kuse kusu economy, it is for me. You buy me, you check economy. Economy no go give me a attack. Economy no go give me a blood pressure. Swaps. Kubulan. On va laisser on va vraiment. Pour qu'on fasse des couplons. J'avais un coupon.
There is a new recipe to delicious tasty meals.
Really?
Oh yes, it's Tasty Cubes chicken flavor. Give every meal that finger-licking taste.
Oh yeah?
Yes, so Tasty Cubes chicken flavor brings out a fantastic taste in everyday meals.
Wow.
I love this Tasty Cubes chicken flavor already. It's surely whetting my appetite.
In that case, what are you waiting for? Hurry now and go and buy your own Tasty Cubes chicken flavor to keep that finger-licking taste in your cooking.
Yes, now.
Tasty Cubes chicken flavor brings out inviting flavor in your meal. Tasty Cubes chicken flavor comes in different pack sizes: 100 grams, 400 grams, and 600 grams. It is also available in powder form.
this line not moving.
Sorry, ma. The network is a bit slow. Don't lose customers to long queues. With the First Money Merchant POS, every checkout is fast, reliable, and instantly settled.
Finally, quick and easy.
Get your First Money Merchant POS now on www.firstbanknigeria.com/get your POS or at any First Bank branch close to you. First Bank, you first. Welcome back, and the program is still Breakfast Fiesta on Oluyole 98.5 FM, where today our focus will be on the state of Nigeria, the poverty rate in Nigeria, and nipping it in the bud. Nigeria is ranked the 12th poorest country in the world by gross domestic product per capita in 2025, according to the International Monetary Fund. Poverty rate among the rural population, according to the World Bank, and that's the World Bank Poverty and Equity Brief, has reached 75%, with 41.3% for urban population. Also, according to the World Bank, an estimated 139 million Nigerians live in poverty. Even the multidimensional poverty index in 2022 by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics showed that 63% of Nigerians, that is approximately 133 million people, were poor. These are very disturbing and startling statistics about our country. But is it this bad? Do these represent, or are they a perfect representation of our realities as a nation and as Nigerians? Joining me to talk about this morning is Dr. Adekunle Onile, who is an economist, extensionist, and value chain development specialist. You're welcome on board Breakfast Fiesta.
Good afternoon.
It's morning.
Oh, you're still in the morning. Oh,
yes.
Don't mind me.
So you're welcome, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Mr. Folisho Olakbo will also be joining us later in the course of the program, so we're still expecting him. I just rolled out the statistics, disturbing, alarming. Like I said, are they a true representation of what we are going through as a nation, in your opinion?
Yes. It is obvious to every discerning mind that there is high poverty in Nigeria. We don't need to go to any SEA or Google it before we know that Nigerian population is under pressure of want and deprivation. And it is majority of the population, just like the statistics you roll out indicated. Poverty is multidimensional and is manifested primarily in the absence of basic necessities of life, the minimal required level. These are food, shelter, water, clothing, and of course medicine. That's a new addition to the concept of poverty. Now, these basic necessities are so important, but very scarce with the population in Nigeria presently. Many people cannot afford to eat 3 square meals a day. Many don't have a good roof over their head. If you see where many reside, it's ghetto, like in squalor, that you will start wondering whether a human being are supposed to live in such environment. And when it comes to the issue of medicine too. A lot of people cannot have. Even common malaria drug now is in thousands. How many people can afford? People have not even got 500 naira to eat a day, and they have malaria, and they go to the chemist, and the chemist say the cheapest malaria drug is 1,000 plus. So people resort to self-help. They start taking agbo, and this is poverty. This is how poverty are manifested in various ways.
Well, I'm glad to let you know that Mr. Oluyole has just joined us on the program. He's a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I apologize. It's one of those things. I apologize. Good morning, Nigerians. I hope you are good. Just grab a cup of coffee.
Well, we're already digging in. So I started with some of the statistics provided by the different organizations and bodies, including the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, that Nigeria is ranked the 12th poorest country in the world. That's by the International Monetary Fund. Then that the poverty rate among the rural population has increased to 75%, according to the World Bank. Also from the World Bank, an estimated 139 million Nigerians live in poverty. Are these true representation of our situation as a country?
Oh, I do not think so. I think it's more than that.
Oh.
Especially because we do not have any middle class anymore. We have two classes in Nigeria now. They have and they have not. That's the class. So it's either you have or you are in multi-dimensional poverty. And when we say multi-dimensional, hunger is the first thing. In fact, when we say multi-dimensional, we are talking about meeting the necessary needs of people. The necessary things that are necessary for human existence, like food, clothing, medicals, and housing. How much does a room and a parlor goes for today? Even in Ibadan, where it used to be just chicken change, today a room and a parlor. A friend of mine got one around Abayomi last week. A room and a parlor self-contained, and it goes for 500,000. So who can afford that? And how much is the minimum wage? Now let's talk about food. The Yorubas will say that and there is a saying even in English that where hunger begins, rationality ends. Because an angry person is a mad person. He is very irritable, hostile, and every other person is an enemy at that distance. So he behaves irrationally. So when we have over 150 million Nigerians, according to MBS anyway, even me, I think it's even still more than that. Because the haves are very few. It's either you are a politician or you are into oil and gas. If you are not that, then you are poor. Very poor.
Dr. Oluyole, how did things get this bad?
Well, it's not a day job. What has been happening to Nigerian people and our economy started some years back. Naturally, the world is, when God created the world, He created it with resources that humans need. But due to mismanagement sometimes, or natural causes, these resources become scarce. Or even sometimes due to situational conditions that people find themselves, lack or need escalate. To get this into perspective, I'll tell you that there are 4 types of poverty. We have absolute poverty, we have relative poverty, we have situational poverty, and we have generational poverty. Now, what is absolute poverty? Absolute poverty means a situation where you lack all the basic necessities of life. you are in great how do I put it, you are in great need. Even your existence is threatened, because to even eat is not guaranteed, and that is a serious matter. Where you will sleep is not guaranteed. You are exposed to the element. You are under sun, rain, under the bridge, under the risk of so for some people that is how they live their life. That is extreme or absolute poverty. Now we have what we call relative poverty. That is, relative poverty means in terms of comparison with another level. You understand? Just like he said the other time, we have the haves and the have-nots. But what's supposed to be the middle class is already eliminated in Nigeria. So there is absolutely right. Very few people now can be classified as middle class. Now, you either have compared to your neighbor, you understand? So when we talk of relative poverty, we mean that it's not as if you don't have at all, but what you have compared to others, you are at the bottom of the ladder. That is relative poverty. Then we have situational poverty. I try to go into this so that people can differentiate, you understand? And then that will put our discussion to context very well. We have situational poverty. This situational poverty is that you are only poor based on where you find or how you find yourself. Not that you don't have all these resources, but you do have access to it. That is water everywhere.
Want to drink.
So there are people like that who are within adequate resources, but unfortunately the children they find that they don't have access to it. Then finally we have generational poverty, and this is what has been happening to African countries. African countries seems to have been doomed to poverty, because over the years most African nations or countries have recorded low developmental index, unlike the Europeans and the Western world, where things are increasing in terms of living standard. Living standard in Africa and other third world countries is going down. And this has been passed from generation to generation. So this is the generational poverty. So when you look at the four types of poverty, you will discover that Nigeria are fitting into all the four. So, and we don't pray that this continue. That is why presently some of the harsh economic steps the people in government now are taking should not be totally condemned. Because for you to make progress, for you to have a better way out, you can't continue business as usual. If you continue those things in a particular way and that thing is not bringing results, you have to change it. But for the change to manifest, it has to take a gestation period. It's just like if you want to have a child in this world, you must be pregnant. That pregnancy is not just in a day that you born it. 9 solid months. That will show that even what God do, take patience. Talk less of what human beings do.
We'll still be going back to the reforms, the necessary pains for the future gains, but I'll come back to you, Mr. Felicia Molapo. Nigeria is believed to be one of the largest economies in the world, and we are still battling with this much poverty. How did we get it wrong?
You see, whenever that question is posed to me, I remember Chino Achebe's book, There Was a Country. The country that birthed majority of the people in power today had been killed. And what we have today is just like Babawolo said, a geographical expression that just situates some sort of people in a geographical area called Nigeria. That country has died. we came to this, during the First Republic, you could see that there were developments. Each region were developing at their own pace. Each region uses whatever they have to develop whatever their human index and everything. We have the first television station, the first stadium, the first skyscraper, the first in the Western region. Why? It was not because those people know how to do it better, quote and unquote, than this generation. No, it's only because the resources they have, they decided to manage it to the benefit of everyone, and that resources is their own resources. They made the people know that this is what you are giving to government, and this is what government is giving you back. Then food is nothing. You can go enter into anybody's house, immediately they will even be happy that you could do that. When doctor was talking now, I was looking at the program on the telly. He said, "Are we still our brother's keeper? Are we? Are we? We cannot, because even the person that ought to have kept you or keep you is in abject poverty." So, and when we talk about abject, and maybe economists usually use words to confuse the layman, because they call it multi-dimensional. So if it's multi, then it means several stages, several steps. Like doctor said again, maybe absolute in this instance. So we came to this point because we collapsed the structure of this country, and the country doesn't have any foundation anymore. And you cannot put something on nothing until and unless we go back to that structure to look at what we have now, to compare it with what we have before, and situate our situation and situate our problem in that. Then we may not get it. In fact, I said this even before this government came in, that by the time a new government is coming in, we will appreciate the last administration more than this. And I'm still saying that if we didn't go back to the basis, we will still appreciate this government more than the other one that is coming. And like you said, to generational, we are giving it, we are passing the baton. And it's not that we don't know what to do. It's only because the politicians themselves are interested in feathering their nests, and not just about the ordinary people. If the ordinary people could, fasten their belt and they have nothing to eat, in as much as they are surviving, so they don't care. So except and unless the people now who owns the sovereign power, which the government, not federal government alone, which the government is wielding, decided to do something about it and take that power back from them. There's a religious organization that usually do a program like that, take the power back. So you have to take your power back. The Constitution says sovereignty belongs to the people and not to the politician.
Well, the present administration, just like Dr. Oluyole briefly mentioned, is putting some reforms in place. And as that presently from research, it is said that inflation is at 18.02%, lowest since May 2022. And
after
food inflation at a 5-year low of 16.8%. Are we saying these reforms are not the way to go? And these successes from inflation, are they not something to count as part of making progress?
Successes may be in parentheses, because development is about people. Any development that is anti-people is regression. So if inflation had come down, if food inflation had come down, and it appears the GDP is going up, GDP is capital per person. How much do you earn a day? That is it. That is the capital GDP. So how much do you have in your hand that you can spend in a day? We have several people in this country that do not even know where the next food is coming from, that they don't know. So we have several people in this country that are exposed to the elements, like the doctor said. There are several people in this country that cannot just afford anything. Now that is not development to me. See, the understanding of this government, I understand them a lot, because even Mr. President himself said that, or he was quoted as saying that the best economy for us is to reduce people's purchasing power, to widen the staff net and slow down the economy. And that is what he's been doing since he came. People tout him to do the best, that he's so courageous to have removed subsidy. But I want to tell you, there's no country in this world that one subsidy or the other are not being used, to strengthen the power of the people. In China, they use agriculture, and the other one. What they vote for it every year surpasses this nation's budget for 2 years, but for subsidy alone. Subsidy is not the problem. The problem is the subsidy thieves. So Mr. President, relieving the subsidy thieves to punish Nigerians is what we are quarreling about. It is not him, I give him that. It is not Mr. President that removed subsidy. No, it is not. It is the Petroleum Industry Act, which was put in place before him, that removed it. And that the government of Buhari knew that he was about to leave government. So he suspended that section of that law to enable the incoming government, any incoming government, to be able to do it the way they like, taking into consideration the fact that Dangote refinery is coming in, and taking into consideration that the incoming government might need to sit and relate with the people and have a meeting of eggheads to discuss how this will not, have any major negative impact on the people. Did Mr. President do that? No. Even before signing to be president, he gave that policy that subsidy is gone. No, it's not done that way. And that is where we find ourselves today. And it is because he believed in fact that the economy must slow down. Nigeria is not a producing country. Our economy cannot slow down. In fact, we have to spend more. Government has to spend more for people to have enough to go around. Because Nigeria is just a civil servant country. The whole Nigeria. If civil servants don't collect their pay, the ordinary people will hunger and die. With the majority of us that in the private businesses rely on government spending.
But would this not push us and challenge us to start producing?
But to produce again needed government deliberate intervention. When I say deliberate in this instance, is one, putting feasible things in place, visible things that can be seen. For instance, a conducive environment. For instance, let's even take agric alone. What those First Republic governors or what do we call premiers did then was from agric. So how did we leave agric? So it's not just talking. When Mr. Abacha removed subsidy, he put in place something, an institution called MPF. I think Nigerian Petroleum Fund or something. I've forgotten but I know it's MPF, Petroleum Fund, whether national or Nigeria. Yeah. So, and they intervene in several things, in health, agriculture, infrastructure, and many things. So when Mr. Goodluck Jonathan removed subsidy, he put in something they call Sure P, so that there can be a safety net, a buffer zone for the people. When this administration came in, What institution did they put in place? No, they were giving out 5,000, 20,000. 20,000, 5,000 in this instance. How many out of the 150 million people multi-dimensionally poor, how many of them can it reach? In fact, in a country that we don't even have data, how do we know who is actually poor? So it takes more than just giving out money. It takes more than the macro economy. The ordinary person in the street like me, I don't care about macro because I don't even know it. It's economists that are saying that. What I understand is, do I have money to put food on my table? Before I could come to you, my sister, I need 500 naira there. You say, lawyer, I'm not worried. But today, if I come to you, it's not because you don't want to give me, but because you don't have. Before I even say whatever I wanted to say, you have even brought your own that. So we are no longer. It's not because we don't want to be our brother's keeper. It's because the situation we found ourselves makes it so I don't know, restricted, that being a brother's keeper, you have to think twice. Because that 500 naira you said I should give you, maybe that's on me.
All right. So going to Dr. Oluyole, I'm glad you're an economist. He just said there are some things. Well, he is that there are some things he does not understand, but maybe the economist will be able to, better explain them. Now, we've had the World Bank in its annual review of Nigeria applauding Nigeria for its economic reforms. But people do not seem to be satisfied. Is the problem with the reforms or the way they were implemented? And are the reforms a necessary pain for a future gain or a trap, like he said?
Earlier, I understand my brother's position, and I think he's echoing the voice on the street, which is what the lawyers are supposed to do. They are supposed to, go for what they term justice. But you see, when it comes to economy, justice is secondary. What comes first and foremost in economic principle is the fact that for you to eat, you must produce. There is no free lunch. There is no free entitlement. Unlike in law, where you have basic fundamental rights guaranteed. Right. You can't say because it is a fundamental right to eat, therefore you must be given food. Who will produce the food if everybody sit by their fundamental rights? You understand? It's not as if it's not part of it. Fundamental right to food is part of government, what do you call it now? Government function to provide food for the citizen, for the populace. But like I said, the so-called government is all of us. We have to play our role. There must be production, there must be productivity. These are what translate into what we call gross domestic product. And this is what determines our standard of living. It is when we produce that we have good standard of living. We can't rely on other countries who are hardworking and think we should be importing that, or we should be just ordinarily comparing ourselves. Are we supposed to now? Did we do it how they are doing it? That is very germane and very basic. The reason why Nigeria is where we are today is not because the economic principles are failing. No. The economic principles is sacrosanct all over the world. It is a result of research that leads to theories that people propound. You understand? The laws of demand and supply is universal. It's not peculiar to a particular country. But the situation each country finds itself is what makes it look like the law is working or it's not. And yeah, it's still the law that we use in economics, that it is working or it is not working. It's based on the, that's why I said that there are situational poverty. That was why at the beginning of this statement I try to first let people understand that this is the reason why certain economy will be like this. Now, going further, the way Nigerians perceive things is that if we suffer, then we should have the benefit, especially immediately. But the question now is this: relative poverty, which is another type of poverty I told you at the beginning. That's why I broke it into 4, because I know this type of things will crop up. Relative poverty means that now when you say you are not seeing anything different, is it for the worse or for the better? It might not be for the better yet, due to certain factors. Gestational period, you understand, is one of the factors. No cooperation even by the citizens themselves. Sabotage is part of it, because we must face reality. In economics, all principles are ceteris paribus, all things being equal. There is no law that it is just blanket. So you understand, even demand and supply, which is the basic economic principle everybody understand, that is all things being equal, that the higher the price, the lower the demand. That depends on no other interfering factors, like all these others, all these market people, all these sabotage would not make that law to work. It's not that it is not the economics now that is not working. It is the extraneous factor that are sabotaging. Sure, you understand? And that has always been the bane of Nigeria governance. Various governments in Nigeria will come out with lofty ideas, but either one that the corruption is another point. Sure, you understand, that will not make basic economic principles to work. Let me give you a very simple analogy. Quickly. The government says, okay, we are going to give grants to all widows in Nigeria. We are going to give them maybe 1 million naira each. The next moment, it is not the president or one person that will execute this throughout Nigeria. They will get government officials, compile list of widows. Where the problem will first start is that those who are going to compile the list will compromise. Instead of widows getting that money, they will put their friends, they will put their sisters, sabotage.
But shouldn't proper monitoring be put in place?
Who are those who are going to monitor? It's in Nigeria.
We are going to continue from there. After the news, we will bring in the news at exactly 11 o'clock. Right after that, and Breakfast Fiesta. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Ohun èlò tuntun kan ti wà fún sísè àwọn oúnjẹ aládùn. Ṣé lóòótọ́? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, Tasty chicken flavour ni o, tí wọ́n ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn èròjà àbáláyé láti sọ gbogbo oúnjẹ tá a ṣe ìdàjẹ́ pọ́nnu lá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, Tasty chicken flavour á fàdùn ara máa ń da sóúnjẹ. Mo ti gba ti Tasty chicken flavour lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Tó bá jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀, má jáfara o, sáré lọ ra Tasty chicken flavour tiẹ̀ lónìí láti máa jẹ̀gbádùn oúnjẹ àjẹpọ́nnu lá. Tasty Cubes chicken flavour ó ń fún wa lóúnjẹ tó gbádùn. Tasty Cubes chicken flavour ó wà lọ́lọ́gọ́rùn-ún gíráàmù, ọlọ́gọ́rùn-ún mẹ́rin gíráàmù àti ọlọ́gọ́rùn-ún mẹ́fà gíráàmù. Ó tún wà níyẹ̀ fún.
I beg you get change. I won't give customer.
I don't get to. Get First Money Merchant POS. Let customers pay with cards and never miss a sale. Don't let no change cost you sales. With First Money Merchant POS, enjoy fast payments, instant settlement, and secure transactions. Visit any First Bank branch or sign up on www.firstbanknigeria.com/get your POS to get yours today. First Bank, you first.
best in news, sports and entertainment. We got everything you need and so much more, yeah. 98.5 FM, Oluyole. 98.5 FM. Hear it all. Dial to the #1 station. You get even quality information. Brighten up your day in so many ways. Tune to 98.5 Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM.
It's 11 o'clock.
News.
Good afternoon. I beg your pardon, good morning. This is the news on the hour. We begin with reports that the former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, has been appointed by the Economic Community of West African States to head its election observation mission for the forthcoming presidential election in Côte d'Ivoire. According to a statement from ECOWAS, the election is scheduled Good morning, this is the news on the hour. We begin with reports that the former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, has been appointed by the Economic Community of West Africa States to head its election observation mission for the forthcoming presidential election in Côte d'Ivoire. According to a statement from ECOWAS, the election is scheduled to be held on October 25th, 2025, while the observation mission will be deployed from October 19 to 29th, 2025, in accordance with the provision of the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. As head of mission, Osinbajo will lead a delegation of eminent West Africans who will engage with key national stakeholders to encourage a peaceful and credible election process, the statement added. The Côte d'Ivoire election comes at a critical time for the region, where several member states are preparing for key national polls amid efforts to consolidate democratic governance. Moving on, as the 2-week warning strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities enters its 7th day, the union has confirmed negotiation with the federal government's renegotiation team led by Yayale Ahmed. According to ASU, progress is being recorded in 5 of 7 demands. ASU President Professor Christopher P1 in a bulletin listed the areas of progress to include the release of third-party deductions, areas of promotions, mainstreaming of earned academic allowance, confiscation of University of Abuja land, as well as victimization of members in Prince Abubakar Audu University, Lagos State University, and Federal University of Technology Owerri. That ends the news on the hour. Thank you for listening.
rédíò tí ó láfiwé Oluyole FM àwa ni bàbá.
ẹ káàárọ̀ ìròyìn ìyálẹ̀ta àlàmú wa fún yín. Bí ìyanṣẹ́lódì oníkìlọ̀ lọ́sẹ̀ méjì tí ẹgbẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́ nílé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga fásitì nílẹ̀ Yásù ṣe ti wọn ọjọ́ keje báyìí, ẹgbẹ́ náà ti ní àwọn tí ń dùnúdúrà pẹ̀lú ikọ̀ aṣojú ìjọba àpapọ̀ tí Yayale Ahmed léwájú. Ààrẹ ẹgbẹ́ ASUU ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Christopher P. Wuna jẹ́ kó di mímọ̀ wípé 5 nínú àwọn nǹkan méje tí wọ́n ń béèrè fún ló ti yanjú láàárẹ̀ ní yíyọ̀ǹda àjẹsílẹ̀ owó ìgbéka, dídẹ́kun dídúnkòokò mọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ASUU tó ń bẹ ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ọmọọba Abubakar Odu, ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó LASU tó fi mọ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ìjọba àpapọ̀ Òwèrì àtàwọn nǹkan mìíràn. Igbákejì ààrẹ ilẹ̀ yìí nígbà kan rí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Yẹmí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò SAN ní àjọ ECOWAS ti hàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí ikọ̀ tí yóò máa tọpinpin ètò ìdìbò ààrẹ tí yóò wáyé ní orílẹ̀-èdè Côte d'Ivoire. Agẹ́gẹ́ bí àtẹ̀jáde tí àjọ ECOWAS fi síta ṣe wí, ètò ìdìbò yìí ni wọn yóò ṣe ní ọjọ́ 25 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún yìí, nígbà tí wọ́n fi ikọ̀ àwọn olùtọpinpin náà ṣọwọ́ ní ọjọ́ 19 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún yìí, níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà ètò ìdìbò tí àjọ ECOWAS náà kalẹ̀ tó fi mú ìlànà ìṣèjọba àwarawa. Aṣáájú ikọ̀ olùtọpinpin yìí, Ọ̀ṣínbàjò, ni yóò léwájú àwọn aṣojú láti apá ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà láti darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn láti lè fọn rere ètò ìdìbò tí yóò lọ lálàáfíà láì ní kọnùkọ̀ nínú. Èyí ló pin ìròyìn ìyálẹ̀ta wa fún ti wákàtí yìí, ẹ̀màyáṣẹ́.
Àmì òjèjì rédíò tí ó láfiwé Olúyọ̀lé FM àwa ni bàbá.
Unstoppable, unbeatable, untouchable. The station that does it better. Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan.
Glad to know you're still there. It's Oluyole 98.5 FM on Breakfast Fiesta. And before the break, for the news, Dr. Onile mentioned that there are reasons some of these government reforms do not work. Part of them, sabotage, corruption, and so on by the people themselves. And I said, when proper monitoring is put in place, can people still get away with sabotage and corruption?
All right. You know, the other time when I was classifying poverty, I talk of generational poverty. The poverty Nigeria is facing is generational because over time we have been structured in such a way that we don't want corruption to be eradicated. And that is a serious matter. And that is the foundation of everything. As long as you build on quicksand, the house will sink, no matter the type of beautiful palazzo decorations and paintings you put on top. That foundation, as ordinary as it looks, the system, the structure of Nigerian society is such that people get away with corruption easily. It's not only those in government, it's in all sectors of the society. You understand? The most serious one is the one from the top, those in government who embezzle money meant for development. You understand? And they were also able to get away with it because the system is flawed. All those that are supposed to be check and balances compromise. The legal will compromise, the civil service will compromise. You understand? And these are all the things all of us are shouting every day. So which means it is happening. People will say justice are bought. People will say civil servants are having huge amount of money in their account. All these are pointers to the fact that there is a problem with our society that is beyond those in government, you know. You understand? Everybody is waiting for a chance to break out of poverty selfishly, not collectively. You understand? So all this matters, and it would affect whatever reform you are. I said the other time, I said government put a reform in place that widows throughout Nigeria, we want to rehabilitate them. We will give them 1 million naira each. The man in charge of the program, you know fully well how to build the system, and being a Nigerian and knowing that Nigerian system can be circumvented, you draw up a list of ghost widows. You understand? So when they want to release the money, most of that list will go to not widows, to young girls, their sisters, their girlfriends. It is happening every day. So you understand? Not to the very people that government targeted in that reform. You might ask me, then if that is the case, why can't government deal with those people, or why can't government go out all out?
Let heads roll.
Why can't government go all out to go and make the widows themselves go? Now the question is this: let heads roll, you said. Now this is it. The heads that will roll also is backed by the same poverty and nepotism. Those heads that will rule, maybe they are related to the people in power, maybe they are their brother or uncle. So you understand who put them, or political associates who are being repaid for their loyalty. It is very difficult to let those heads rule if those are the people that put you in government and people that will need again for next election. You understand all this? These are Nigerian factors.
Oh, Mr. Oluyole, is it true? Are we our own problem?
Maybe to some extent, but I actually appreciate Doctor. But it appears to me that is appropriating and reprobating at the same time, especially when it comes from the side of law. It is the function of government to take care of the citizens. QED, no other person. And every government knows that that is the reason for government. If everybody, like you said, if everybody has to sit by their, want to enforce their rights, that would be topsy-turvy everywhere. But people signed off on what is called social contract and give government that power to be able, to rein in oppressive powers of individuals. Now, Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, talks about one of the functions of government is to see to the security and welfare of the people. If any government failed in that place, it has breached the Constitution. Section 16 talks about the happiness of the citizens. If the citizens are not happy, meaning that the government in place has breached that Constitution, which is the instrument of its power. Every incoming government swear to that Constitution to uphold the principles of the Constitution. Now, government is set to be able to superintend the patrimony, the commonwealth of the people, and to help government, laws were made. Laws were made in respect of economy, politics, everything that government has to do. And if that law is not enforced, then whose fault? Is it the citizen? Because even the law, even created a force which will help government to enforce that law. We have several forces in this country, including the police, including the ones that we don't even know their names. If you go to Lagos, you see so many uniforms that we begin to ask which one is which one is which in this one. So the law provides for enforcement of those laws. If there is no fear of law, there will be confidence in impunity, and that is what is happening in Nigeria. Impunity. He said so himself. Impunity, because heads were not rolling. Somebody forged a certificate. What did they do? He resigned, and that was all. So what happens thereafter? Somebody was alleged, a civil servant, to have about 500 houses and everything. What happened? Nothing. Some people were even convicted.
Of course you will.
Where you are,
respond to that.
where you are, my barrister.
Yes, sir.
Now you have actually come to the reality of what I'm saying. You said head supposed to rule. Good. The lawyers, the law are part of the problem, which you are now trying to push to other people. It is the same lawyers that will defend such criminals. It is the same law they will invoke to frustrate the court process. It is the same law that we use to stop EFCC from charging some people. It is the same laws that will, for the next 20-30 years, be dragging, because the president or whoever is in government is not authoritarian. Otherwise, he will now be able to act outside the law. It is the same law you are referring to that the masses use to elect, in quotes, the same people that make the law, even if they are criminals, if they are. So all these things, I'm telling you that it is garbage in, garbage out.
We can go all day, blaming one profession or one set of people.
What about professional blame?
We are talking, yes, blaming Nigerians, blaming the government.
That's the word.
But the topic really is nipping poverty in the bud, and we have highlighted all of these causes, all these factors responsible. Where then do we go from here?
Okay, where
I'm coming. Please, just a minute. I want us to, since we say where do we go, to focus right on that. So that is the topic of today: nipping poverty in the bud. Not that we find the blames, because we are going to the blames now. Well, that we should be talking now. We should be talking now. What do we do?
How do we chart a
Very well.
forward?
I think the first step is that anything you want to do must have a strong foundation. The first thing is that our law enforcement, our advocate and solicitors, our lawmakers and everybody should go all out to stop corruption. That's the foundation of everything. To stop corruption. In other crimes, in foreign countries, they have rogue thieves there too. So you understand? Why it didn't thrive is because their system doesn't permit it. Our system here permit it. It's not the president that permit it. You understand now? The president is a human being, just one person. He cannot do four-man job. Even when people talk issue road, it's easier to say. You understand? Even the military that has authoritarian power, how many times did they roll heads? Talk less of a president that the next day you want to sack somebody, that same person will go to a lawyer to get a court injunction that his fundamental right is breached. People have forgotten that. Yet they want the same government to perform miracle. You understand now? We are in a tight corner. People don't understand that. It's easier to talk. Talk is cheap, but action. That's why I said the other time that in economics we deal with reality. Food, give me food is cheap to say, but growing it, to eat, it's not a day job. You have to farm, you have to turn in the sun before you can eat. That's how God made the world. Not that you just say, hey, this is my fundamental right, or this is what the law says. No, you understand? We're talking about economy here, not about civil rights. You understand now? The economy is not based on civil rights. Otherwise, everybody's entitled to free food. You understand now? That is the case. So what I want to say is that how do we nip poverty in the bud? The first thing I've said, the foundation should be proper. Reduce corruption. Then the next thing is that make people to be productive.
How? Good.
In the first case, the oldest occupation known to the world is agriculture. And agric is all in all. It provides food, it provides even shelter, it provides fiber, it provides clothing, it provides medicine. You understand now? That is agric for you. In those days, that is how our elders, our ancestors survived. So you understand? Everything they do is from their farm. Even the medicine they take is from their farm. What they used to build their house is from their farm. They put it together. They are not waiting for any outsider to come and start importing or bringing luxury for them or succor. You understand? So if Nigeria want to nip poverty in the bud, the first thing is that we should address the issue of agriculture. The agric we have here now currently, I was on a similar program here before. I told people that urban agriculture is practiced all over the world. You don't say because you are a civil servant, agriculture is not your business, or because from another profession it is other people to provide food for you. No. Even within the enclaves of your house, within Bodija Estate, so you understand, you will not have land to farm. There are what we call portable farming. You can buy bags of cement, put sand inside, and even plant yam, put up plant crop that you can eat within your own. That reduces the pressure on food in the country. These are some of the things other countries tried, but here all of us just want to eat. We don't want to produce. We don't want to know how the food come about. The next thing is that this country is now wow.
So your solutions: fight corruption, yes, and go back to agriculture. And okay, so Mr. Felicius Lapo, Nigerians are struggling to put food on their tables.
Please, I want to.
Cost of living is high.
Back because I was on my legs.
Right.
Mine is excuse me to talk.
Right.
And for almost 5 minutes.
So quickly do that.
It's not quickly.
Please quickly.
One.
we have to keep to time. So please quickly.
No, it's not quickly. It's not quickly because one, the welfare of the people is civil rights. It is, and it is provided for in the constitution, and it is about the law.
So the constitution
everything about this country is about law. People voted people in through law and by law. Even democracy itself is said is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is law. It is based on the rule of law. Where there is no rule of law, we have rule of force. And the atmosphere will be brutish, it will be deadly, it will be, in fact, everything that is scary. Now let us put it this way: we might be talking about recruitment of people into power. That's different. People vote for the people they voted for, because some people just start somewhere and begin to allocate people. This is the person you are going to vote for. Do we have parties that actually is democratic in nature and have ideology, that the members of that party are financial members that vote for whoever they wanted to represent them? Economics is about law. Law is law everywhere. Even the fundamental human rights are not absolute, like he said, but it's about law. Simon Ekpa was convicted in Sweden. He has a lawyer. He has people defending him. And that is because the Constitution in every crime provides for that a person is innocent until it is proven otherwise. Not that because, and not because of the institution that doesn't know what to do. When you have a law and you do not know what to do with that law, you don't have to blame the people. Somebody stole subsidy funds, and government didn't go for the people that stole the subsidy funds and begin to punish the people that were supposed to enjoy the subsidy fund in the first place, and begin to say there is no law. No, I don't want to say have that, because it is about law. Mr. President should have worked in consonance with people that he himself, because he has advisors inside everybody, that they will sit together and say how it will benefit the people. Even in economics know that development, economical development, yes, that is not people oriented, is regression.
All right, Mr. Olapo. So, what would you prefer? The solutions to poverty?
I have said it earlier, that let's go back to the basis.
All right.
The basis of this country is warboard. We do not have foundation. For us to have foundation, there must be devolution of power. Let every aspect of this country rule themselves the way they deem fit. No, governors should not go to Abuja and collect money every month, and that is why they are not, thinking outside the boxes.
Are you talking about regional?
Yes, I am talking about that. I am talking about we going back to the Republican Constitution of 1963. Let there be devolution of power. Let every region of this country, if we are going to call it state, if we are going to call it whatever, let each one begin to govern themselves according to how they wish. Some people could take their camels and donkeys to anywhere and begin to eat in their best hotels. It's not our culture here to have animals and people living together in the same place. So you don't force us to do that.
But you agree with me that that could still take some time.
But you have to start.
At present, yes.
But you have to start. Are we starting?
Nigerians are hungry, yes.
Yes, we have to start.
We'll start from there.
We have to start from somewhere.
So more immediate solutions to
there wouldn't be any immediate solution. It talked about the agric. Is this government not pronouncing agriculture every time? What are the physical things that we saw on ground? Even the governor of Oyo State has many, farms, imported people coming in and all that, on the faces of newspaper. Good thing. But how many we have? Oyo State is the biggest producer of cassava in Nigeria. Do we have an ethanol processing plant in Oyo State? We have.
All right. So, Mr. Olapo, I'll take that as no, we are not going to take more. We really have to go now. So thank you very much for your contributions and your time to the program today, talking poverty and nipping it in the bud in Nigeria. Thank you so much. It's been a thoroughly enlightening session. Thank you to my guest, Mr. Felicio Olapo, who is a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst, and to Dr. Adekunle Onile, an economist, extensionist, and value chain development specialist. Thank you so much for coming on today's episode of Breakfast Fiesta. Until next week, when we will be coming your way again, I'm sure you have taken the points, yes, and together we'll work on it. God bless Nigeria. My name is Jamila Elibide. Have yourself a great week ahead.